Now, back in the 19th century, there was a buoyant optimism that many had. Many believed that man was going to create the equivalent of a heaven on earth. This was a time that Mark Twain described as the Gilded Era. A new philosophy for living was emerging, and everyone felt that as the new millennium had just dawned, man was going to literally build a heaven on earth. It was actually thought that mankind would best nature and even God through their version of modern technology. And in that day, shipbuilding was the counterpart to perhaps the space race of today. So it was decided that the largest and most luxurious cruise ship ever would be built. And after years of planning and build out, it was unveiled. You know the name, don't you? The Titanic. Some fool actually said God himself couldn't sink this ship. Famous last words. The leading technology of the day sunk after it struck an iceberg. But the point was, the Titanic was a metaphor for the ego of man, thinking that he could somehow, in his own ability, create something that would bring this utopia. No, the Bible teaches that mankind is getting worse, and it's going to go on in that direction. So some Christians hearing this will say, that's right. And so we need to just withdraw. The world's going to hell in a handbasket. So let's build a Christian city, and we'll drive Christian cars, and we'll live in Christian houses, and we'll have Christian dogs and Christian cats. Maybe not cats, we'll just have our own world, our own culture. No, that's not the biblical worldview. You see, we want to influence culture around us. Some would try to isolate themselves from the world around them. And let me just say to you, that is virtually impossible. You may remove yourself and your children from the culture, or at least attempt to, but know this, your culture will find you. Al Mohler, in his book, Culture Shift, said, and I quote, "We use language, we wear clothing, and engage as consumers in a world of continuous cultural invasion. The culture is a vast network of institutions, laws, customs, and language that is a constant part of our life, like it or not," end quote. So you may try to withdraw to a Christian subculture, but that's not what we're supposed to do. The objective of believers is not to isolate, but to infiltrate. Not to evade, but to invade.